Hello AP Econ students. I'm here to discuss the rest of worksheet number 21. We did the first part of it in class, the part with all the graphs. We stopped at question number 11 though, so I want to make sure I kind of run through that in case it didn't make sense to you and you kind of understand the process, because they love to ask about the process moving forward. So real quick though, refresher to the graphs, okay? So the big thing with the graphs, when you're talking about a change in supply or demand, the big thing is this: you always want to ask the question, where do people want to buy, or where do people want to invest? Okay, if people want to buy American goods or want to invest in America, that's going to increase the demand for our dollar, because to buy our stuff or to invest in our country, they need dollars to do that. If people do not want to buy in America, if people do not want to invest in America, that decreases the demand for American dollars, because if they don't want our stuff, or if they don't want to invest in our investments, then they don't need our dollars, okay? So whenever you look at a scenario, remember we talked about 4 things that change either supply or demand for currency. Could be changes in tastes and preferences, could be changes in income, could be changes in real interest rates, and it could be changes in inflation, okay? Either way, when you read through the scenario, you always want to ask the question, where do people want to buy or invest? If they want to buy or invest in a country, it increases the demand for that country's currency. If they don't want to buy or invest, it decreases the demand for the country's currency. Again, you could also look at it from the perspective of supply. If people are buying American goods, it's going to increase the supply of the other currency, because the other currency is coming into our country in order to exchange for dollars to buy our stuff. If we want to buy another country, then another country's goods or services, then our currency will increase the supply and things like that. So anyway, quick refresher, but let's get to this. So pretty simple running through this. This is not too hard, just kind of take it a step at a time. If the dollar appreciates, that means it's going to take more euros to get a dollar. Okay, the dollar, just like, remember, if your baseball card appreciated, it would take more dollars to get the baseball card. Well, we're not talking about baseball cards here, we're talking about a dollar bill. If a dollar bill appreciates, now it takes more euros to get the dollar. Well, if it takes more euros to get a dollar, that makes our stuff more expensive to Europeans. Okay, so if it used to take 3 euros to get a dollar, now it takes 4 euros to get a dollar. Well, if a bottle of water costs $1, then it used to take 3 euros to get the dollar to get the bottle of water. Now it takes 4 euros to get the dollar to get the bottle of water. So a bottle of American water went from 3 euros to 4 euros. So our stuff became more expensive, so they're not going to buy, so it's more expensive. So number 13, if it's more expensive, they're going to buy fewer of our goods. Okay, our stuff, they're going to buy fewer bottles of American water, because American water is more expensive. Now, we haven't applied this quite yet. We've kind of alluded to this already in the last worksheet, worksheet number 20. This next part, let's apply what we've learned about aggregate supply, aggregate demand. If other countries stop buying our stuff, that's going to decrease aggregate demand. Remember, there are 4 things that change aggregate demand. The 4 things that make up GDP, right? Consumption, investment spending, government spending, we've spent a lot of time on that one, and the last one, which is what is relevant here, is net exports. Okay, which is the difference between our exports and our imports. Well, bottom line is, if other countries stop buying our stuff, there's less demand for American products. That decreases aggregate demand. Now, if aggregate demand decreases, what's going to happen? Unemployment. Unemployment, of course, is going to increase. There are going to be fewer people working. If other countries stop buying our things, then we don't need to make as many things. We don't need as many workers. Unemployment is going to go up. Of course, excuse me, the rest of it's going to follow. Just the opposite of everything we just did. If the dollar depreciates, it takes fewer euros to get that dollar. Okay, look at that on a graph. If that's not making sense to you, draw a graph. It's going to take fewer euros to get a dollar. Well, if that's the case, our goods become less expensive to Europeans. Our stuff is less expensive. Hey, let's buy more U.S. goods. U.S. goods just became cheaper. If other countries are buying more of our goods, that's going to increase aggregate demand. My apologies on that. And then number 20, what's going to happen to the unemployment rate? Well, the unemployment rate is going to decrease, right? So countries are buying more of our things, we need to make more things, we need more workers, unemployment goes down. So, there are some people that freak out when our dollar depreciates compared to other countries. Oh my gosh. But again, there's a balancing effect there, because if our dollar depreciates, the end result is an increase in aggregate demand and a decrease in the unemployment rate. So it's just taking international exchange markets, currency exchange markets, and trying to apply them to our own economy, specifically aggregate demand, to try to figure out how that affects us in our country. Of course, you take any country, but all of this we've related back to America. So hopefully that makes sense. Again, if there's any part of that you're still struggling with, either email or call me or shoot me a text, or we'll arrange something, but hopefully that makes sense. So there you go. Worksheet number 21, explain. Thank you.